So let me shut up and welcome Mrs. Exene Cervenka.
Well, thank you. That was a nice introduction, and thank you all for being here today. It's a privilege and an honor to be here at your school, and you've got something great going on here. You're all very young. Congratulations. It's quite a quality to have. I'm never very organized when I read because it's kind of a fluid thing. Like I'll do some stream of consciousness and some poems and some things that are kind of standard and then some things that aren't. Some of it's kind of dark. I hope you won't mind that. This is a love poem called Perfect World. They were perfect for each other. They kept a little jar of guitar picks and rose petals next to the bed. When they weren't feeling exactly the same, they were feeling different, and that was interesting too. Their songs were like flowers that bloomed sober and straight from the water in a whiskey bottle vase. The clock, the moon, the sun were all round, friendly faces that marked happiness, not time. Not the miles, not the minutes, not mortality. They were free and unopposed. There wasn't one thing she didn't like about him. He had never made a complaint against her habits. Already a month had passed and still they loved each other. She woke up this morning and the first thing her eyes landed on was one of his shoes. She felt funny. She didn't know why. She wondered, does it bother me where it is in the middle of the floor? And where's the other one? And as she rose half covered and touched it, he awoke and said, "You going to hit me with that?" He smiled at her. She told him that it just bothered her for some reason. He said he was sorry, and he said, "I told you before I moved in that I was a slob." She set the shoe gently down on its sole. He put his arms around her and kissed her face and neck, and as she introduced her tongue into his mouth, she knew that things weren't perfect anymore, and that his shoe was the beginning of the end. A few months later, she watched him tie his laces and walk away with the moon under his arm. She cried all day to the rose petals, but they were dead. And the jar was dead, and the guitar picks were dead, and the air in her apartment was dead air, and her hair was dead, and the sun was brutally and mercifully alive. Perfect worlds roll like balls through people's lives, today through mine, tomorrow through yours. How lucky we can be sometimes, but how lonely and desperately sad we can be when our perfect world rolls away. Where are you, little star? Did you see this bitter earth roll by, a ball you shouldn't play with? It belongs to me and I want it back. Just like a child, I don't want my happiness to end. Just like a child, I'll get over it. And just like you, I'll find someone else to play with. And I'll wait until a perfect world rolls to a stop at my feet. And when it does, I'll get back on. And I'll know you when I see you, because you'll be barefoot.
When did you decide that you wanted to write poetry?
When I was about 14, my sister gave me a blank book and like an old ledger from like the 20s or something, and she just gave it to me, and I said, "What am I supposed to do with that? There's nothing in it." And she said, "You're supposed to fill it up," and then so I did, and then I have like hundreds now, so it's quite a comfort writing. I recommend it to everybody. I think it's the most important thing for your soul. Very important. I see more hands. Okay.
You said you were in the band X, of course, and you said you were friends with Henry Rollins and the Black Flag and all the other punk bands of the time. How is your connections like faded, or are they still as strong as they were then?
Some of them are stronger now. Like, I've become better friends with Chuck Dukowski from Black Flag in the last couple years, and his wife and family, than I had been during the whole punk years, you know. Some of it's survivorism, you know. It's like, hey, Chuck, hey, Exene, what are we doing here? Here we are, because we lose people from that scene kind of constantly, and so there's not a lot of people around, so when you see them, it's like, I don't know if you've ever had the experience of being in a foreign country or a foreign city and you run into someone that you barely know from your hometown you're suddenly best friends, you know, because circumstances dictate. Let's see, I have a liquor store disorder song. I have one about, winding up the time. Well, I can't play that very good. A really good one coming up is Honest Mistake. All right. This will be my last song. Okay, hi, back there.
I've listened to a lot of your ex's music, and it's lyrically very complex. And coming out of a band, what I wanted to ask was whether you wrote melody first and then brought the lyrics to that, or whether you wrote the lyrics and then fit a song to your words.
In X, I always wrote the lyrics first, and my genius songwriting partner, John Doe, generally came up with half the melodies and all the music. So I would come in with a line like Johnny Hit and Run Pauline, and then he would write a song about it. And then that would be the whole song, would just be that. And then some songs like Nausea I would write, or The New World, if you're familiar with those songs. I would write the whole song, and then he would put the music to it. But generally I just did the lyrics first for X. Oops. Yeah?
What's the single most important thing you believe in?
What's the single most important thing what?
You believe in?
That I believe in is love.